I played 50 games of COD Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer and tracked how many kills, deaths, and wins I got. This video is heavily inspired by the one and only Luke the Notable and his 100 Drop series. By this stage in my COD journey, I had already put a few hours into Modern Warfare 2 and I would consider myself a semi-average player, but my performance in Game 1 would say otherwise. We started off with some domination on Tarak, a large desert map that has a few buildings surrounding B flag. I took the liberty of holding these buildings down and managed to get myself a VTOL. This allowed me to finish the first game with 25 kills and 7 deaths, as well as taking home the win. Game 2 was Hardpoint on Farm 18, a much smaller map than Tarak, which has a building in the center where most of the action takes place. I decided to use the Lockman sub, the MP5 of this game, and I found some success with it, except when versing shotguns. We won the game and I got 29 kills and only 17 deaths. Seems we are back on Tarak for Game 3 and we used the Kastov 762, which is the AK-47 of this game. We played pretty well, getting 25 kills and only 5 deaths, but forgetting about the objective saw us take the L. We started Game 4 off well, flanking the enemy team several times and getting a few kills. We even picked off this poor guy who had no clue I'd be in his spawn. Despite choking the win, all was not lost as we finally reached level 55. I was lucky enough to get a game on El Bagra Fortress in Game 5. Despite many mixed reviews of this map, I think it's perfect. Especially if you camp the shit out of the middle 2 buildings, which I did like a certified pro. Using the Lockman 556 and AR with little to no recoil, I was able to pick off the enemy team one by one as the kills started racking up. The nerves started taking over when we got onto a 20 gun streak. Is it possible that I can get a nuke 5 games into this challenge? We were slowly running out of bullets and the game was nearing its end. Can we do it?
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
We didn't quite get the nuke, but going 35-4 and getting the win saw me happy enough to call it there for a day. Game 6 was on a new day, and after the success in the first few games, I felt like switching things up and using the FTAC Recon, a tap-firing battle rifle that somehow has more recoil than most of the ARs. Yeah, Game 6 wasn't good. We actually went negative, but somehow came away with the win. I decided to give the FTAC another chance on Breenberg Hotel, and it didn't go much better. I mean, at least I had 1 minute on the objective. After a couple rough games, I decided to head over to Ground War to test my sniping skills. And in a game that felt like it went for 45 minutes, I only managed to get 9 kills. I mean, we won, but I'm not going to be playing that again. So, I lost the footage for games 9 to 11, but trust me, you're not missing out on much. I remember I was using the SBR marksman rifle, and in these games I was continually getting hit markers and it was starting to piss me off. We went 7-18 in game 9, 9-20 in game 2, and my notes say we went 17-20 in game 3 on border crossing. And if you know border crossing, then you know it's dog shit. And I was cracking the shits because I kept getting blown up by cars. Sounds about right. Like half of the game so far, we ended back on Tarak for game 12 for a match of headquarters. We used the STB this game after hearing many good things about it. Its low recoil and high fire rate is perfect for mid to long range encounters. For those who don't know about headquarters, it's a team-based objective mode where you need to capture the point and hold it for as long as possible to gain score for your team. The only novelty is that once your team has captured the point, your team can no longer respawn until the enemy seizes it. It's got to be one of my favorite modes in the game as you can typically rack up a high amount of kills. I ended up going on a little bit of a streak, but like half the deaths in this game, I got killed from behind. Game 13 saw us venture to Las Almas for another game of headquarters. I held my own for the majority of this game, but the rest of my team struggled to stay alive, which saw us get destroyed 200-0. Game 14 was domination on Crown Raceway. We went 25-15 as the STB was proving to be one of the best assault rifles in the game. Game 15 was our first match on Zarqwa Hydroelectric. We started off getting hot with a cheeky 4-piece, finishing it off with the pistol. I set up shop on the top floor of this building and picked off the enemies one by one in and around this house until I got my VTOL. I ended up getting another VTOL as I patrolled up and down this left flank of the map, getting a 15 gun streak, but then of course, I died. I'm pretty happy with myself going 38-8, and hey, we even got the win. Back on farm for game 16, and we had the pleasure of versing a bunch of snipers in this one, which is always a fun time. We went negative, but got the dub thanks to my objective time. Don't you just hate it when people don't play the objective? Like seriously, if you're not gonna get on point, just go play TDM. Back on Bagra for game 17, but this time I actually didn't sit in that house the whole time. I even went out to mid. It's just too easy. Seriously, perfect line of sights on their spawn. Pop down the claymore and you're laughing. It doesn't get any better than this. Absolute shock that we're back on track for game 18. The only interesting thing that happened this game was me getting a kill while flashed, but besides that, it was pretty dog shit. In game 19, we got domination on border crossing. So we did what every other person with 2 or more brain cells should do when they get this map. We played on El Asilo for game 20. I went 11 and 15 in this game, but I was going for crouch kills on the AK-7 for you, so that's the only reason I went negative. It definitely wasn't a skill issue or anything. Game 21 was your regulation match of Farm 18. We just sat in the middle building with an SMG and killed anyone and everyone who tried to come inside. We would occasionally pop outside for a cheeky kill or two, but that was about it. I kept the SMG train going in game 22 using the MP7 for the majority of this game. I got myself a VTOL as well as 35 kills. I have to admit, using score streaks over kill streaks makes it so much easier to get VTOLs. Yeah, so game 23 was we finally finished off those crouch kills with the AK-7 for you and got gold on the gun. We started using the 5.56 Icarus LMG in game 24 because some genius over at Activision thought it was a smart idea to create this super straightforward gun unlock system that makes this game so much fun. Nah, but look, I see what they're trying to do, making us use different guns. Like, I get it, but why do I have to level up a shotgun to level 7 to get a basic red dot sight? Game 25 is on Tarak, so you know what that means. We're going to be camping in these middle buildings. I've got to admit, killing someone with a claymore right after they kill you is up there with the best feelings on earth, and you can't change my mind. We had 31 kills and 25 deaths, but lost the game because, like most of the time, my team was allergic to the objective. In game 26, we played some kill confirmed on El Bagra. I guarded this staircase like it was my only child. I even got a VTOL for all my hard work. We finished the game with 34 kills and 10 deaths, and overall it was a pretty solid game. Game 27 was on Embassy, and I finally maxed out the 5.56 Icarus this game, unlocking the M16. I got myself another VTOL along with 42 kills and only 17 deaths. Having just unlocked the M16, we decided to give it a crack in game 28. In a close victory, we dropped 30 kills, but still copped an RPG to the face. Game 29 was back on farm. I got a pretty nice frenzy kill, but only just managed to go positive. I glitched through some stairs in game 30 and got sniped more times than I can count. Literally. We finished with 32 kills, but this guy got 67.
Say my name.
Our stinky game streak continues on Hydroelectric in game 31. I even managed to die to 2 separate kill streaks within the span of 7 seconds.
Nice.
We had a lucky turnaround in game 32 with hardpoint on El Bagra. We popped off this game, patrolling around the house in the middle. We called in our first VTOL and it went to work. The kill feed for a good 30 seconds was glowing yellow as I one bursted my way through their team. We didn't get 1 or 2, but 3 separate quad feeds this game, and got halfway to a nuke until we were interrupted by this sniper. We tried making a late comeback, but despite dropping 70 kills, we weren't able to get the victory. After a stellar performance, skill-based matchmaking really took over in game 33, as we got put into some bullshit CDL World Finals lobby. This resulted in the worst game of the challenge so far, going 10 and 23 in a 200-0 loss. It was more of the same in game 34, and then again in game 35. Just a slight drop off since that 70 bomb, but what should we expect? Skill-based matchmaking plus border crossing equals shit KD. And in saying that, if you hate skill-based matchmaking just as much as me, then hit that like button and subscribe. After a much needed rest, we returned to Embassy on game 36. My aim is improving, but my objective time isn't. I flanked my way to a positive KD in game 37. As we dominated the game, winning comfortably in the end. This also resulted in me finally unlocking gold on the M16. It was the last assault rifle I needed to get gold, so now we can finally work on those platinum challenges. Game 38 was on good old Tarak, so using the Kastov 762, we sat in the middle buildings and camped our way to a VTOL. We actually managed to get on a little bit of a streak, and with only 12 bullets left in my gun, I was able to do this.
I'm Daredevil.
Things were looking good, but eventually I died. I finished with 37 kills and 10 more seconds on the objective than this guy. Game 39 was kinda weird. I got a VTOL which got shot down straight away. So then I got another VTOL which also got shot down. We lost the game, but hey, I went pretty positive. So it's a win in my books. If I could summarize game 40 into a single clip, it would be this. In game 41, I tried going for long shots as I needed to get 25 on each of the assault rifles to unlock platinum. Las Almas would be a great map to get them if I could actually aim. I kept trying to get long shots as the game went on, and I kept failing, only ending with a depressing 9 kills to show. I actually tried to play a game on border crossing in game 42, but I realized shortly it's not worth ruining my mental health, so I just left. I abandoned my pursuit of the platinum camo and resorted to what I do best in game 43, camping in corners. In my defense, I'm actually protecting the objective here. See, this guy even knew I was going to be here, but he couldn't kill me, probably because he's
Dog shit.
We got the win and I finished the game with 40 kills and 17 deaths to show. They say it's better late than never, and that was the approach I took towards the objective in game 44 with 10 seconds remaining. It looks like I might actually do this.
Nope.
Back-to-back games on Zarqwa for match 45, but this time I made sure we came away with the win. Even if that means I had to resort to my old drop-shotting ways. So game 46 happened, we got some kills and just came away with the win. Got a VTOL in game 47 and it was all going well, and then this happened.
Hey, that's pretty good.
We got pushed in the water and came back to seek some revenge. We won the game in the end and I finished up with a whopping 42 kills next to my name. Game 48 was on the best map in the entire game, aka El Bagra, and we headed straight for those middle windows. After killing some guys in the courtyard and drop-shotting anyone who dared to challenge me from behind, we secured a VTOL thanks to my Claymore. We then proceeded to get another VTOL just because I'm that good at the game. And this time around I dropped 70 kills and we actually walked away with the win. In the final 2 matches of this 50 game challenge, I attempted to snipe my way to glory. Although I've edited the footage to make it seem like I'm somewhat decent at sniping, let it be known that this is what actually happened. Finishing with 2 wins and 2 negative KDs, that wraps up our 50 games. But now let's see the stats and how we actually went in those 50 games. Out of the 50 matches we played, we walked away with a bang even record of 25 wins and 25 losses, which is quite surprising since I'm still figuring out what an objective is. We finished with 1,328 kills and 818 deaths. This equates to a kill-death ratio of 1.62. Our highest kill streak was 21 in game 5, and our most played map was Zarqwa Hydroelectric with 8 games, followed by Tarak with 7 games. Our least played maps were Greenberg Hotel with only 2 games, and El Asilo with only 3. If you enjoyed this 50 game challenge and stuck around till now, please smash the like button and consider subscribing. It'd be greatly appreciated, and let me know down in the comments what sort of video you want to see next. And always remember, fuck skill-based matchmaking.